Ever since her debut in 2007, Rosalina has struck awe and wonder into the minds of every 9-year-old who got this game for their birthday. And by this game, I mean Super Mario Galaxy. In the beginning of the game, we're told that every 100 years the Comet Observatory flies past the planet the Mushroom Kingdom is on. Rosalina lives on that comet and explains that this planet is her old home, and checks on it every 100 years to ensure its safety and to reminisce on the past. Now, most of Rosalina's past is shrouded in mystery. I'm sure Nintendo is doing that on purpose, but that doesn't mean we know nothing. In the first game, a story is told alongside the progression of the game. A story about Rosalina's past and the birth of the Comet Observatory. Here is that story. In the first chapter of Rosalina's story, it tells us that a young girl finds a small star child in a rusted ship and asks the star child if it's lost. The star child replies that it's waiting for Mama and is coming in on a comet. We also learn that the star child's name is Luma. The girl promised Luma that she would wait with him and search the night sky with a telescope the girl had borrowed from her father. For years, the two of them searched for the comet, but to no avail. Eventually, the girl told Luma that if they kept waiting, she would become an old lady soon, and proposed that they search for the comet themselves. The rusted ship was then fixed, and the two of them set sail into the cold void of space to search for the Luma's mama. This chapter tells us a couple of things. 1. The girl's father is a sky observer. Owning a telescope, you'd figure this for night watching. 2. The girl does in fact age. This will be important later on. In Chapter 2, the girl and Luma spent days looking for the comet, but all they see are asteroids as far as they can see. The girl says if she had known that the search would take this long, she would have packed more jam. Before they left home, the girl packed the essentials, except for water. Luma laughed and said all it needs are star bits, and offered the girl some. Both the girl and the Luma began collecting star bits to nibble on. This chapter doesn't tell us much except the girl's home had butterflies, hence the butterfly net. Chapter 3 tells us the two of them found a turquoise comet made of ice. Thinking it was Luma's mama, they both land and searched the comet, but only found star bits encased in the ice. Both of them decided to stay and ride the comet because it housed water. There is really nothing in this chapter that's worth noting, except that the girl needs normal consumption of nutrients to live. This note will also be important later. In Chapter 4, we get a glimpse of the girl's mother in a dream. The girl's mother tells the girl that she will always be with her, even in her darkest times. The girl then awoke and began crying, knowing that she will never see her mother again. This also made Luma upset and cried alongside her. Despite the tears, the two of them continued to search for Mama, and encountered many comets, but none held her. Luma continued to cry. Eventually, the girl told Luma, while hugging him close, "I'll take care of you." With those words, the girl felt a small spark in her heart. This was the girl adopting Luma as her own. In Chapter 5, it tells us that tools and materials were also buried under the ice, and the girl used them to build a home. The girl and Luma gazed at the completed house, and both agreed that the house was too large for just the two of them. And that night, the girl slept in the starship while clinging her stuffed bunny close. First of all, we learn that in this chapter, the girl has a brother. Secondly, how the hell does a little girl single-handedly build such a large home? Chapter 6 opens up with the girl sipping tea, and the comet approached an apricot-colored planet. And out emerged another Luma from the planet. The new Luma exclaimed, "My mama!" excitingly, which drew out more Lumas and also exclaiming, "My mama!" The girl laughs hysterically and adopts all of the Lumas. She would name all of them and then move them into a new house. This chapter in particular fascinates me, because all of the Lumas call the girl Mama, despite not being Mama, unless the girl was destined to be Mama, and only the Lumas know that. This made me think the girl was Mama all along. The girl just didn't know it. Chapter 7 tells us the girl takes her father's old telescope to look at her home planet. She then begins reminiscing on her past and all the good memories she had there. Seeing her home so far away, the girl fell into tears, exclaiming that she wanted to go home and see her family. But she knows she can't, because her mother is sleeping under the tree on the hill. This chapter does tell us a lot. Her home is on a grassy hill with a tree, where she would stargaze with her father, sled with her brother, and have picnics with her mother on the same hill she is buried. Chapter 8 tells us the usually cheery girl becomes sad again, and the Luma wanted to cheer her up, so Luma transformed into a comet to carry her and the other Lumas on their journey. The girl could hardly believe it. "How?" she asked. The Lumas then explained to her that they all eventually become celestial bodies. The girl thanked them and hugged them, and from here on then, no more starbits fell from the girl's eyes. The comet that Luma had become began carrying them to the girl's home planet. The final chapter tells us the girl accepts her position, adopting newborn Lumas and seeing off grown-up Luma. The girl had become a mother. Rosalina's story raises more questions than answers. Who is her mother? Who is her father? Brother? Where is her home? Although there is no definitive answers for those questions, there is an answer to the title of this video. Who is Rosalina? Rosalina is the mother and caretaker of the Lumas. However, she is not the girl in the book. Remember when I said that the girl aging and requiring consumption is going to be important? Well, here's why. In the beginning of the game, it tells us that every 100 years, the comet visits the girl's home planet. The word "every" implies that the comet has been visiting the planet for hundreds of years. There is no way Rosalina is looking as good as she is, being at the very least 300 years old. She would have died and reborn 2 more times before 300 years. How can this be? It can't be. However, that also raises another question. Who is the girl? The girl is Rosalina. Huh? You might be asking yourself? Well, let me explain, little Johnny. The girl is in fact Rosalina because in the final chapter on the 4th page it reads, "But it would be nice to return home once every 100 years to nap in my favorite sleeping nook," meaning the girl intends on returning home every century as if she's knowing she's going to live that long. So what the hell was the point of me telling that the girl isn't Rosalina, huh? And my answer to that is, duh, for dramatic effect of course. To sum this video up, who is Rosalina? The answer is, she is the girl in the book. I know this answer isn't what you're looking for, but I'm sorry, alright? Nintendo keeps Rosalina a tight secret, and Game Theory's answer is just a theory, quite an ambitious one too. Maybe down the timeline, Nintendo will open up her backstory even further, and thus getting to solve this mystery.